The main bridge of the Harbinger hummed with activity as the crew prepared for their first battle. Olivia sat in the command chair, her mind linked directly with Echo. Through this connection, she could feel the ship as if it were an extension of her own body. Every system, every weapon, every sensor fed data directly into her consciousness. Commander Laura Bell stood at the tactical station. Her military experience made her the natural choice to coordinate their defense. The crew now numbered 63 as more descendants had arrived in the past 24 hours, still far below what the ship required. But it would have to be enough. The Scourge warship will enter weapons range in 20 minutes, Echo announced. The AI's holographic form stood beside Olivia, displaying tactical information for all to see. Laura studied the enemy ship on the main viewer. It was massive, though still smaller than the Harbinger. Its design was disturbing, organic components merged with mechanical systems, giving it the appearance of a living creature rather than a vessel. What do we know about their weapons? Olivia asked. Echo displayed an analysis. The Scourge utilized biotech weapons. Plasma projectors grown from living tissue energy weapons that feed on the life force of their operators. Their shields function similarly, drawing power from the crew themselves. Laura grimaced. That's barbaric. It is efficient, Echo corrected. Their technology evolved along a different path than human science, they see. No distinction between biology and machinery. To them, a ship is as much a living entity as the crew who operate it, Samantha Kelly. The chief engineer spoke up from her station. The main engines are at full power. Shield systems are operational, but untested weapons are charged and ready, Olivia nodded, feeling the truth of these statements through her link with the ship. The Harbinger was ready for battle. But was the crew? Laura, what is your assessment? Olivia asked. The commander frowned. We have superior firepower and defensive capabilities, but an inexperienced crew. Most of these people were civilians a week ago. They may have genetic memories, but they lack real combat experience. Dawn Miller, the communications specialist, turned from her console. What choice do we have? If that ship reports back to the main Scourge fleet, well, have 20 more heading our way. She was right. They had to engage and they had to win. Olivia made her decision. Battle stations, everyone prepare for combat. Echo, initiate battle protocols throughout the massive ship. Crew members moved to their positions. Systems previously dormant came fully online. The Harbinger seemed to awaken, further power surging through its circuits as if eager for the coming fight. Scourge ship detected their preparations. Long-range sensors showed it accelerating, changing course to bring its weapons to bear. They know we're here, Laura said. They know what we are. Something in her tone made Olivia look up. How could they know? Echo hesitated before answering. According to my historical records, the Harbinger was the flagship of humanity's last stand in the original timeline. The Scourge would recognize this ship, so we're famous, Samantha said with nervous laughter. We are hunted, Echo corrected. This vessel represents the greatest threat the Scourge ever faced. They will stop at nothing to destroy it. The enemy ship suddenly accelerated, moving faster than seemed possible for its size. It was now just 10 minutes from weapons range. Olivia felt a strange sensation through her neural link with Echo, memories not her own flashed through her mind. She saw battles across the stars, worlds burning, fleets destroyed. She saw the Harbinger fighting, surrounded by enemies. Always fighting. Always surviving. These memories, who do they belong to? She asked Echo privately. The AI responded in her mind. They are fragments from your ancestor. Captain Eliza Summers. She commanded this ship in its final battle. The neural link is activating. More of your genetic memory. Can I access more? Olivia asked. Not without risk, Echo warned. Too much too quickly could overwhelm your consciousness. Before Olivia could respond, the tactical display flashed red. Enemy weapons powering up, Laura reported. They are preparing to fire evasive maneuvers, Olivia ordered, remembering tactics she had never learned. The Harbinger responded instantly, its massive bulk moving with impossible grace. The main engines flared as the ship accelerated, then suddenly changed direction. The inertial dampeners strained to compensate, keeping the crew from being crushed by the G-forces. The Scourge ship fired green energy beams lashed out across space, narrowly missing the Harbinger. The near miss still caused power fluctuations throughout the ship return fire. Laura ordered Weapons Officer Beth White activated the main gravity cannons. 3 points along the Harbinger's hull glowed blue before releasing invisible waves of concentrated gravitational force. The attack struck the Scourge vessel, distorting its shields and crushing a section of its outer hull. First blood to us, Samantha cheered, but the enemy recovered quickly. Smaller craft began launching from its damaged hull, each the size of a standard Earth fighter but moving with incredible speed. Fighters incoming, Laura warned. 30, no 40 of them. Olivia felt the Harbinger respond, point defense systems activating, automatically targeting the incoming threats. But there were too many. They swarmed toward the ship like angry insects. Several fighters broke through the defensive fire. Their weapons impacted the Harbinger's shields, causing them to flare brilliantly. The ship shuddered under the assault shield strength at 87% and, dropping, Samantha reported, "They're concentrating fire on our aft section." Olivia closed her eyes, focusing on her connection with Echo. She could see the battlefield from multiple perspectives at once. The Harbinger, the enemy ship, the fighters, all moving in a deadly dance. Then she noticed something. "The fighters are avoiding Sector 7. Laura," she said, "direct fire there." The commander didn't question the order. She redirected the point defense systems. The weapons fired into what appeared to be empty space. Then suddenly 3 fighters appeared, their cloaking systems disrupted by the attack. They exploded in silent bursts of green fire. "They're using stealth technology," Laura said in surprise. Echo nodded. "They are more advanced than anticipated. The Scourge must have accelerated their technological development. Perhaps our presence in this timeline has altered their evolution as well." The main Scourge vessel fired again. This time the attack struck home. The Harbinger rocked violently as energy beams tore into its shield strength at 60%. Samantha called out rerouting power. The battle continued for 20 more minutes, a deadly exchange of firepower. The Harbinger destroyed most of the enemy fighters, but the main Scourge ship proved resilient. Its organic hull seemed to repair itself even as the Harbinger's weapons tore into it. "We're not doing enough damage," Laura said. "We need something more powerful." Olivia felt a new system awakening within the ship. A weapon Echo had not mentioned before. Its power requirements were enormous, drawing energy from multiple systems. "What is this?" she asked the AI mentally. "The phase cannon." Echo replied it was designed as a last resort weapon. "The technology is unstable, dangerous to use, but it will work against the Scourge. It will pierce their shields and disrupt the connection between the organic and mechanical components of their ship. But firing it will drain our shields completely. We will be vulnerable." Olivia made her decision: prepare the phase cannon. The crew worked frantically, rerouting power systems, adjusting the ship's position. The Scourge vessel seemed to sense the danger. It accelerated, trying to move out of the line of fire. Now Olivia ordered a section of hull near the Harbinger's bow opened, revealing a massive cannon. Unlike the other weapons, this one glowed with a strange purple energy. The air around it seemed to distort, as if reality itself was being bent. The weapon fired. A beam of twisted space tore across the void, striking the Scourge ship directly. The enemy vessel seemed to phase in and out of existence, parts of it disappearing into other dimensions, then reappearing damaged or destroyed. The organic components withered and died, separated from their mechanical counterparts. The Scourge ship listed in space, huge sections of its hull now missing. Life support failed on multiple decks. Power systems collapsed. Without the organic technology to repair itself, the ship began to break apart. "Did it," Samantha whispered, but their victory came at a cost. The Harbinger's shields were down. Power systems fluctuated throughout the ship. And worse, the neural link between Olivia and Echo had intensified. The strain was taking its toll. Blood trickled from her nose as her mind struggled to process the vast amounts of data. Scans detect a transmission from the Scourge vessel. Dawn reported, "They sent a message before we destroyed them," Echo confirmed. A subspace communication was sent to the main Scourge fleet. The message contained only 2 words: Harbinger returned. The implications were clear. The enemy now knew about them. They would come in force next time. Olivia struggled to stay conscious, the neural link threatening to overwhelm her. She saw more memories, battles yet to come, strategies, plans, weapons, all flooding into her mind. She saw Earth-burning colonies falling, billions dying. She saw the end of humanity, and she saw something else. A purpose for the Harbinger beyond merely fighting. A plan so desperate, so dangerous, it had been hidden in the deepest parts of Echo's programming. The Harbinger wasn't just a weapon. It was a template. A seed. From it, humanity could grow the technologies needed to fight the coming war. The ship contained, within its database, the designs for all its advanced systems, weapons, drives, shields, all could be adapted to existing human vessels. As Olivia finally lost consciousness, slumping in the orbital shipyards above Earth bustled with activity, as engineers and technicians worked frantically to retrofit the fleet with technology from the Harbinger. 10 days had passed since the encounter with the Scourge virus. The massive warship now floated in synchronous orbit, its presence both reassuring and terrifying to those below. Inside a conference room aboard Earth Command headquarters, Olivia Summers sat with Commander Laura Bell and representatives from the United Earth government. Admiral Catherine Wilson, a stern woman with 30 years of military service, led the meeting. Our engineers have successfully integrated the gravity weapon systems into 15 of our cruisers, she reported. But the phase shift technology remains beyond our understanding. The principles violate our current physics models. The time pressure hung over them like a cloud. 2 days until the Scourge fleet arrived. 2 days to prepare for a war that would determine humanity's survival. Admiral Wilson continued. The planetary defense grid has been upgraded with shields based on the Harbinger design. They won't be as strong, but should provide some protection against the Scourge bioweapons. Laura studied the tactical display showing Earth its moon, and the assembled human fleet, 38 ships ranging from small frigates to heavy cruisers. None as powerful as the Harbinger, but together presenting a formidable defense. It's not enough, Olivia said quietly. Through her link with Echo, she had seen the future, the one they were trying to prevent. She knew the devastation the Scourge could unleash. Admiral Wilson frowned. Dr. Summers, I'm aware of your unique connection to the Harbinger, but military strategy is my domain. Olivia met her gaze. The Scourge fleet contains 93 ships, each comparable to the one we barely defeated at Proxima 9. Even with the upgrades, our fleet is outnumbered and outgunned. Before the Admiral could respond, alarms sounded throughout the facility. A lieutenant burst into the room. Admiral, we have a situation, she said. The quarantined section of the Harbinger's memory core has been breached. The Scourge virus is loose. Olivia felt it immediately through her neural link. The shadow had escaped, was spreading rapidly through the ship once again. But this time it was different, focused. It headed straight for a specific database. Echo appeared as a hologram in the conference room. The virus is attempting to access the temporal navigation system, she announced. If it succeeds, it could send data back to the Scourge homeworld centuries in the past. The implications were clear. If the Scourge received advanced knowledge of human tactics and technology, the timeline would be altered dramatically. The invasion wouldn't wait years or even months. It would have already happened. Earth might already be conquered. Admiral Wilson stood. I need a security team to the Harbinger immediately. It's too late, Laura said. The virus is digital. We can't fight it with soldiers. Olivia closed her eyes, focusing on her link with Echo. I can try to stop it like before, but Echo warned against it. The virus has adapted. It knows your mind pattern now. A direct confrontation would be fatal. Then what do we do? Olivia demanded. We can't let it access the temporal systems. Echo hesitated, a rare sign of uncertainty. There is one option. The contingency protocol. What is that? Admiral Wilson asked. Echo explained. The Harbinger was sent back in time as a last resort when all seemed lost. But my creators installed a final option. If even this plan failed, the ship can initiate a controlled temporal implosion, a time bomb. Laura asked incredulously. In essence, yes, Echo confirmed. It would create a localized temporal field, erasing the Harbinger from this timeline, preventing the Scourge from acquiring its technology. But the blast radius would be significant. Any ship within 5,000 kilometers would be affected, erasing the Harbinger. Olivia whispered, "But that would undo everything we've accomplished." "Not entirely." Echo said, "The knowledge already transferred to Earth, the upgraded ships, they would remain. The templates for the technology exist now in your databases, but the Harbinger itself and everyone aboard would be removed." From the timeline, Admiral Wilson shook her head. "Absolutely not. We cannot sacrifice our most powerful weapon and a ship full of people." "The virus is spreading rapidly now," Echo reported. "It will reach the temporal systems in approximately 28 minutes. We need another option," Laura insisted. Olivia stood suddenly. "I have an idea, but it's risky, Admiral. I need control of the fleet." "The entire fleet," Wilson balked. "Out of the question." Olivia pressed. "The Scourge are coming whether we like it or not. In the original timeline, Earth fell. Despite humanity's best efforts, I have seen it through the genetic memories. My ancestor watched this planet burn. I will not let that happen again." The intensity in her voice, the certainty in her eyes gave the Admiral pause. "What are you proposing? A trap?" Olivia said. "But not just for the virus, for the entire Scourge fleet." The plan came together quickly. Time was their enemy, but also their ally. The Harbinger moved away from Earth, taking position near the dark side of the moon. The human fleet spread out in an apparently defensive formation. Inside the massive warship, Olivia sat in the command chair, her connection with Echo stronger than ever. The rest of the bridge crew watched nervously as the countdown continued. The virus was minutes away from breaching the temporal systems. "Everyone clear on the plan?" Laura asked from the tactical station. The crew nodded. Samantha spoke from engineering. "The phase shift drive is configured to your specifications, but I still don't understand how this will work." Olivia smiled grimly. "You're about to see." Space rippled at the edge of the solar system. Dozens of Scourge ships appeared, their organic hulls glistening in the distant sunlight. The invasion had begun. Earlier than predicted, they detected our preparations. Echo said they accelerated their timeline. The Scourge fleet moved with purpose, heading directly toward Earth. Their formation indicated they knew exactly where the Harbinger was hiding. They had come for the ship first, understanding it was the greatest threat. Olivia felt the virus reach its target. The temporal navigation systems were breached. Data began flowing outward, transmitted toward the approaching fleet. "Let them have it," she said. Laura looked concerned. "Are you sure?" Olivia nodded. "The virus thinks it's winning. Let it send the data." On the main viewer, they watched as the Scourge fleet adjusted course, still heading toward the moon but now spreading out, taking positions around where the Harbinger waited. "Virus transmission complete," Echo reported. "The Scourge have received the temporal navigation data. Now," Olivia ordered, "activate the phase shift drive." The Harbinger shimmered its physical form, shifting partially between dimensions. But unlike before, the effect extended outward. A bubble of distorted space expanded from the ship, growing larger, encompassing a sphere thousands of kilometers in diameter. The approaching Scourge ships found themselves caught in the effect. Their organic technology reacted badly to the dimensional shift. Systems failed. Hulls warped, weapons offline. Now Admiral Olivia called through the communication system. The Earth fleet moved from its defensive positions, ships appearing from behind planets and moons, places the Scourge sensors couldn't detect through the phase distortion. Each vessel equipped with gravity weapons based on the Harbinger's design. They opened fire simultaneously. Concentrated beams of gravitational force tore into the disabled Scourge vessels, their advanced shields useless against weapons they had never encountered. Hulls crumpled like paper. Organic components died, instantly exposed to the vacuum of space. The virus trapped in the Harbinger's systems struggled to adapt to what was happening. The temporal data it had transmitted was a trap, falsified information designed to lure the Scourge fleet into the phase bubble. The battle, if it could be called that, lasted less than 10 minutes. When it ended, 78 Scourge ships had been destroyed. The remainder retreated, jumping into hyperspace, fleeing the unexpected defeat. On the Harbinger's bridge, the crew celebrated. But Olivia remained focused. The virus still existed within their systems, and worse, she could feel something changing in her connection with Echo. The neural link was becoming unstable. What's happening? She asked the AI privately. Echo appeared beside her, visible only to Olivia through their link. The temporal systems have been compromised. The virus damaged them before it was contained. We are experiencing chronal distortion. What does that mean? It means we are becoming untethered from time. Echo explained. The Harbinger was never meant to exist in this timeline for this long. The natural forces of temporal mechanics are attempting to correct the anomaly. Olivia understood with sudden clarity. The ship was being pulled back to its original timeline. Or perhaps to no timeline at all. Can we stop it? She asked. No, Echo said. But we can control it. Use it. The Harbinger has served its purpose. It gave humanity the tools to fight the scourge. But now it has become a liability. As long as it exists, the enemy will never stop trying to capture it. So we use the contingency protocol, Olivia whispered. Remove the Harbinger from the timeline. Echo nodded. But not everyone aboard needs to be lost. There is time for evacuation. Olivia made her decision knowing it would be her last as captain of this impossible ship. She opened a ship-wide channel. Attention, all crew. This is Dr. Summers. The Harbinger is experiencing temporal instability. We must evacuate immediately. All personnel report to shuttle bays. Emergency protocols are in effect. Laura approached her. You don't intend to leave, do you? Olivia shook her head. Someone needs to pilot the ship during the temporal implosion. My neural link with Echo makes me the only viable option. But you'll be erased from the timeline, Laura protested. Olivia woke in the medical bay of the Harbinger. Her head pounded with each heartbeat. The neural link with Echo had taken a physical toll. Dr. Helen Morgan stood over her, scanning her vitals with equipment centuries ahead of current medical technology. You gave us quite a scare, the doctor said. Her genetic memory had made her a natural choice for chief medical officer, despite having been a general practitioner on Earth. Your brain activity was off the charts. Olivia tried to sit up, but dizziness forced her back down. How long was I unconscious? 3 days, Helen replied. The neural interface was too intense, too much information too quickly. Echo has adjusted the connection to prevent further damage. 3 days, Olivia whispered. The Scourge commander, Bell, has been managing the situation, Helen assured her. Earth Command has been informed of the threat. A fleet is being assembled. But what? Helen hesitated. They don't fully believe us, despite the evidence. Despite the destroyed Scourge ship, many at Earth Command think this could be an elaborate hoax or worse, some kind of invasion by the Harbinger itself. Olivia wasn't surprised. Really, they were asking people to believe that a ship from the future had been sent back in time to prevent the extinction of humanity. It sounded like fiction. I need to see Echo, she said, pushing herself up again. This time the dizziness was manageable. Helen helped her to her feet. Just take it slow. The neural pathways in your brain have been altered. We don't fully understand how altered. Olivia touched her temple, feeling a strange sensation like electricity just beneath her skin. The doctor nodded. Echo says it's part of the process. Your mind adapting to interface with the ship more efficiently, but I'm concerned about the long-term effects. Olivia found she could access the ship systems even without being on the bridge. A part of her consciousness remained connected to Echo. She could feel the Harbinger, sense its status and location were moving. She realized, yes. Helen confirmed we're on our way to Earth. The ship is fully repaired. The battle damage was extensive, but the self-repair systems are remarkable. Olivia made her way to the bridge, still weak, but determined. Commander Laura Bell stood at the central console discussing strategy with several officers. She looked up as Olivia entered. Welcome back to the land of the living, Bell said with a small smile. We were getting worried. Olivia took her place in the command chair, feeling the neural link strengthen as she did. What have I missed? Laura gestured to the tactical display. 3 more Scourge scout ships detected at the edge of our solar system. They haven't approached yet, just watching. Gathering intelligence, we think, and Earth. Command working on upgrading our existing fleet with technology from the Harbinger database, Laura replied. But it's slow going. The engineering concepts are beyond our current understanding. Even with the templates, Echo appeared her holographic form, materializing beside Olivia. The genetic memories of the descendants are helping the process, she said, but we face another problem. The tactical display shifted, showing a massive fleet, nearly 100 Scourge vessels of various sizes gathered. In Deep Space Dawn, Miller stood at her communications station. Long-range sensors detected them yesterday, she explained. They appear to be assembling for a major assault. How long do we have? Olivia asked. Echo calculated based on their current position and typical Scourge battle tactics, approximately 12 days before they reach Earthless, then 2 weeks to prepare for an invasion. Samantha whistled. That doesn't give us much time to upgrade the fleet. There's more, Laura added. Earth Command is divided. Some want to use the Harbinger as a template for new weapons. Others want to study it further before committing resources. Admiral Wilson has ordered us to dock at Luna Base for inspection. Olivia frowned. Wasting time we don't have Echo seemed troubled. The timeline has been significantly altered. The Scourge have accelerated their invasion plans. In the original history, their first major assault was still months away. The changes we've made by awakening the Harbinger early, Olivia realized precisely. Echo confirmed. We have altered the course of events. The future I was sent from may no longer be possible. What does that mean for your mission? Samantha asked. For us, Echo hesitated, a rare occurrence for the advanced AI. The mission parameters remain. The same, prevent the extinction of humanity. The method, however, may need to be adjusted. The ship suddenly shuddered. Alarms blared throughout the bridge proximity alert. Dawn called out. Something just appeared off our port bow. The main viewer activated, showing a Scourge vessel much smaller than the warship they'd destroyed but still dangerous. It had appeared without warning directly beside the Harbinger. Impossible. Laura said, they can't have stealth technology that advanced. Echo corrected her. It is not stealth technology. It is a spacefold, a localized wormhole. The Scourge have developed the ability to jump short distances through subspace. The enemy ship fired immediately, energy beams striking the Harbinger's shields. Before they could respond, the Scourge vessel jumped again, reappearing on their opposite side. They're testing our defenses, Samantha said from engineering. Our shields are holding, but each hit drains more power. Laura took control. Weapons target their last known position. Predictive. Firing pattern Beth White. The weapons officer input the commands. The Harbinger's main weapons fired into seemingly empty space. A moment later, the Scourge ship reappeared directly in the line of fire. The enemy vessel took a direct hit, its hull breaching. In multiple places, got them. Beth called out, but the damaged Scourge ship did something unexpected. Instead of retreating, it accelerated directly toward the Harbinger. They're on a collision course. Laura warned, evasive maneuvers. The Harbinger began to turn its massive bulk, responding slower than needed. The Scourge ship adjusted its course, still on target, impact in 5 seconds. Dawn counted down 4. 3. Olivia closed her eyes, focusing on her connection with Echo. Together they accessed a system that had remained dormant until now, phase shift drive. The Harbinger shimmered, its physical form partially shifting into another dimension. The Scourge ship passed through the space where they had been striking, nothing but empty void. How did you do that? Laura asked in amazement. Phase shift technology, Echo explained. The Harbinger can temporarily exist in multiple dimensional states, particularly useful for avoiding solid objects. The Scourge ship turned, preparing for another attack. But this time they were ready. The Harbinger's weapons locked on, tracking the enemy vessel through its dimensional jumps. When it reappeared, the full force of the gravity cannons tore it apart. Enemy vessel destroyed. Beth reported. No survivors, but something was wrong. Olivia could feel it through her link with Echo. The ship was detecting strange energy readings from the debris scan, the wreckage she ordered. Before the scan could complete, the remains of the Scourge ship exploded, not with fire but with a pulse of green energy. The pulse washed over the Harbinger, penetrating its shields as if they weren't there. Power systems throughout the ship fluctuated. Computer displays flickered. Strange codes scrolled across screens were being hacked. Samantha shouted their ship was a delivery system for some kind of virus. Echo flickered her holographic form, destabilizing. Something is attempting to access my core programming, she said, her voice distorted, initiating countermeasures. Olivia felt the attack. Through her neural link, it was like nothing she had experienced before. Not just code, but something alive. Something hungry. It tore through the ship's systems, searching for something. Disconnect all non-essential systems, Laura ordered. Focus power on. Echo, the crew worked frantically, isolating sections of the ship's computer network. But the virus, if it was a virus, continued to spread. It seemed to have intelligence, purpose. Olivia realized what was happening. It's not after the ship, she said. It's after Echo, the AI confirmed. Correct, the Scourge are attempting to capture my database. I contain detailed information on all future Scourge tactics, weapons, and weaknesses. If they access this data, they could change their own strategies. Olivia finished. Make your information useless. Echo nodded. The virus is adapting faster than my countermeasures. I cannot stop it. Then we have to help you, Olivia said. Drawing on instinct and genetic memory, she deepened her neural link with Echo. I can enter the system, fight it directly. No, Echo warned. The risk is too great. Your consciousness could be lost, but there was no choice. The virus was spreading too quickly. Without Echo, the Harbinger would be just another ship, powerful, but not the game-changer humanity needed. Olivia closed her eyes and let her mind sink deeper into the neural interface. The world around her faded, replaced by a digital landscape, a representation of the ship's systems. Networks of light stretched in all directions like a three-dimensional web. At the center was a sphere of pure energy. Echo, and moving through the network was something dark, something wrong. It flowed like liquid shadow, corrupting everything it touched. Where it passed, systems failed. Data was destroyed. Olivia found she had form here. A human shape made of blue light. She moved toward the infection, reached out to touch it. The moment she did, pain lanced through her, both in the digital world and her physical body. The shadow reacted, turning toward her. It had awareness. It knew she was there. Tendrils of darkness reached for her, trying to envelop her consciousness. Olivia pulled back, retreating toward Echo. The AI extended protection surrounding Olivia's digital form with layers of code. It is a Scourge intelligence, Echo explained, part organic, part digital, a living program designed to infiltrate and corrupt. They based it on my own code. How do we fight it? Olivia asked. We don't, Echo said. We trap it. Ends. The wind howled across the frozen plains of Proxima 9 as Olivia Summers checked her thermal suit readings one more time. The temperature outside had dropped again, making this already dangerous expedition even more risky. Olivia was the lead scientist of what everyone back at Earth Command had called a waste of resources. No one believed there was anything worth finding on this ice ball at the edge of human space. But Olivia knew better. She had spent 10 years studying strange energy patterns coming from beneath the southern ice shelf. The small team trudged through the snow, their boots crunching with each step. The scanner in Olivia's hand beeped steadily, growing louder as they approached the dig site. Tara, follow me with the heavy scanner, Olivia called to her assistant. The younger woman nodded and adjusted the large pack on her back. The team of 7 reached the edge of what appeared to be a normal ice formation. But Olivia knew what lay beneath. She had spent the last 3 weeks carefully melting through the outer layer, careful not to damage what might be the greatest discovery in human history. The entrance to the cave was narrow, forcing them to go in single file. Olivia first, then Tara, followed by the security officer, Mary Wu, and the rest of the research team. The passage sloped downward, growing darker until their helmet lights were the only illumination. After 20 minutes of careful descent, they reached the chamber Olivia had discovered earlier that week. The room was massive, far larger than should be possible for a natural formation. And there in the center, embedded in ancient ice, was something that should not exist. A ship, not just any ship, a warship of incredible size. What they could see was just the tip of it, a section of hull nearly 100 meters long with strange markings along its surface. The metal, if it was metal at all, had a dull silver sheen that seemed to absorb their light rather than reflect it. Olivia stepped forward, her heart racing. The ship was unlike any design used by Earth or the colony worlds. Its lines were sleek, almost organic, yet it radiated an unmistakable sense of power, even after all this time. The weird thing is, those markings said, Terra, pointing at symbols, etched into the hull. Some of them looked like Old Earth English. Olivia nodded. That was the mystery that had kept her awake for days since finding this section. Carbon dating suggested the vessel was at least 4,000 years old, but humans had only reached the stars less than 500 years ago, and yet here was something buried in ice on a planet 18 light-years from Earth with writing humans could almost read. Mary stepped forward, her hand resting on her sidearm. "This doesn't make sense," she said. "Either someone is playing a very elaborate prank or what we know about human history is wrong." Olivia finished. The team set up their equipment along the edge of the chamber. Powerful heaters began to slowly melt more of the ice, revealing more of the ship. Scan suggested it was massive, far larger than they had first thought. Perhaps 3 kilometers from bow to stern, Olivia placed her gloved hand against the hull, surprised to find it warm to the touch despite being encased in ice for millennia. That should be impossible. The ground suddenly shook, throwing several team members off their feet. A low rumble filled the chamber as cracks appeared in the ice surrounding the ship. Everyone back to the entrance. "Mary," shouted, drawing her weapon, but Olivia stood transfixed as a section of the hull began to glow with soft blue light. The markings she had been studying now pulsed with energy. "Olivia, get back," shouted. Terra. Another tremor stronger than the first sent, chunks of ice crashing down around them. The ship was awakening, somehow responding to their presence. A seam appeared in the hull, where none had been visible before. The ice around it melting away as if by magic. A doorway was forming. Mary grabbed Olivia's arm. "We need to leave now," she insisted. "Report this to Earth Command, get reinforcements." "No," Olivia pulled away. "This is what I came for." Before anyone could stop her, Olivia approached the opening in the hull. The blue light grew brighter, washing over her. A strange humming filled her ears, making her dizzy, but she pressed forward. The opening was now large enough for a person to enter, almost as if it had adjusted itself to human proportions. Olivia stepped inside. The interior was nothing like she expected. It was pristine. No dust, no damage, just clean lines and surfaces that seemed to glow from within. The temperature was perfect, not too warm, not too cold, despite having been buried in ice for thousands of years. Olivia heard the others calling to her, but their voices seemed distant, unimportant compared to what she was seeing. A corridor stretched before her, leading deeper into the ship. She moved forward, drawn by something she could not explain. Each step took her further from her team and deeper into the mystery. A door at the end of the corridor slid open silently, revealing what could only be a control room. A large chair sat in the center, surrounded by panels and displays that flickered to life as she entered. The technology was far beyond anything humans currently possessed, yet somehow familiar. Olivia approached the chair, hesitating for just a moment before sitting down. The moment she did, the entire room lit up, displays filling with information in that strange, almost English language. A voice spoke seemingly from everywhere at once. "DNA verification complete. Welcome aboard the UES Harbinger, Dr. Summers. I am Echo, the ship's artificial intelligence. I have been waiting for you." Olivia tried to respond but found herself speechless. How did it know her name? How could it possibly know who she was? "I understand your confusion," Echo continued. "You have questions. I have waited 4,317 years to answer them." Outside in the ice chamber, the rest of the team watched in horror as more of the massive ship revealed itself. The ice was melting rapidly, now exposing weapon systems and engine ports that made even Mary step back in awe. Long-range sensors picked up the ship's awakening from 18 different points across the galaxy ships changed course. Their destination. Proxima 9. The hunt had begun, inside the control room. Olivia listened as Echo explained the impossible. The Harbinger was a ship from humanity's future sent back through time as a last desperate measure. When all had been lost, when Earth and her colonies had fallen to an enemy called the Scourge, the last survivors had used experimental technology to hide their greatest warship in the past, and now with humanity facing the first incursions of that same enemy, the ship had awakened to change history, to prevent the fall. You were always meant to find me. Echo told Olivia. Your genetic code was programmed into my systems before I was sent back. Your ancestor was my captain in the future that will never be. A tremor ran through the ship as more systems came online. Olivia felt a strange connection forming between herself and Echo, as if the AI was linking directly to her mind. Prepare yourself, Dr. Summers, Echo said. They know I have awakened, the Scourge will come, we must be ready. And so on a frozen world far from Earth, humanity's greatest weapon began to rise from its ancient tomb, ready to fight a war across time itself. 2 days passed since the awakening of the Harbinger. The massive warship now hovered above the surface of Proxima 9. Fully freed from its icy prison, Earth Command had responded to the discovery with a mixture of disbelief and alarm, sending a military cruiser to investigate. Commander Laura Bell stood on the bridge of her ship, the ECS Valiant, staring at the mysterious vessel through the viewscreen. That thing is at least 4 times the size of my ship, she muttered to her first officer. Yet our scans show it has enough firepower to destroy a small fleet. The Harbinger was unlike any ship humans had built. Its hull gleamed with a strange metallic substance that seemed to shift colors depending on how you looked at it. Massive weapon ports lined its sides, dormant for now, but clearly capable of unleashing terrible destruction. Laura had been ordered to assess the situation and, if necessary, destroy the unknown ship. But something about the reports from Dr. Summers gave her pause. The EE scientists claimed the vessel was from humanity's future, sent back to help fight an enemy humanity had not yet encountered. Laura made her decision. I need to see this myself. Prepare a shuttle. 30 minutes later, Laura stepped from her shuttle into the main hangar bay of the Harbinger. Olivia Summers waited for her, along with 2 other members of the original research team. The hangar was massive, large enough to hold dozens of fighter craft, though it stood empty now. Welcome aboard, Commander, Bell, Olivia said, extending her hand. The scientist looked different somehow. Her eyes had a strange glow to them, almost as if light shimmered just beneath the surface. Laura shook her hand cautiously. I need to speak with this AI you mentioned in your report. Olivia nodded. Of course, Echo is expecting you. They walked through corridors that seemed to stretch impossibly far. Laura noted that despite the size of the ship, they had encountered no crew. Just empty halls and rooms, all pristine as if newly built rather than thousands of years old. The control room was circular with a raised platform in the center. Several chairs surrounded what appeared to be a holographic display, though nothing was currently projected. Commander Bell, Echo, said the voice coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. I have been anticipating your arrival. Show yourself, Laura demanded. I prefer to speak face to face. A shimmer of light appeared before them, coalescing into the form of a woman. Her appearance was translucent, with lines of code visible beneath her surface. Her features were generic, as if the AI had chosen the most average human female appearance possible. Is this more comfortable for your human sensibilities? Echo asked. Laura ignored the question. Why are you here? What do you want? Echo gestured, and the holographic display came to life, showing star systems and what appeared to be battle formations. In approximately 73 days, the first major Scourge fleet will attack the human colony on Terrace Prime. In the original timeline, this attack succeeded, destroying the colony and killing all 12 million inhabitants. It was the beginning of a war humanity would eventually lose. Images flashed, showing massive destruction. Alien ships overwhelming human defenses, worlds burning. Echo continued. I was sent back to prevent this future. My mission is to aid humanity in defeating the Scourge before they can establish a foothold in this sector of space. Laura crossed her Arms Earth Command has no records of any enemy called the Scourge. Why should I believe you in response? Echo displayed a series of star charts. The light from these systems has not yet reached Earth, but my sensors can detect them clearly. The Scourge have already destroyed 3 non-human civilizations in neighboring sectors. They are coming for Earth next. The display shifted, showing strange ships of organic design moving through space. They appeared to be part mechanical, part biological. Their hulls covered with what looked like veins and sinew. Olivia stepped forward. I know how this sounds, Commander, but Echo has shared information with me verified by our own long-range scans. The Scourge are real, and they are coming. Laura studied the scientist. I was told you have some sort of connection with this ship. Explain. Olivia hesitated, then nodded. Echo, show her. The AI gestured and a new image appeared on the display. This time it showed DNA strands, complex molecular structures that twisted and reformed. When the Harbinger was sent back through time, it carried genetic markers of its original crew. Echo explained, Dr. Summers is a direct descendant of my captain. Genetic memory was encoded into her DNA, allowing her to interface with my systems more completely than ordinary humans. If to demonstrate, Olivia's eyes glowed brighter. The same blue light that pulsed through the ship's corridors. Laura watched in astonishment as holographic displays responded to the scientist's thoughts, without her speaking a word or touching a control. We don't have time for skepticism. Commander, Olivia said, the Harbinger has been awakening a select group of people across human space. People who share genetic markers with the original crew. We need them here. Echo displayed a list of names and locations. Men and women scattered across Earth and the colonies. All apparently ordinary people with no knowledge of their importance. Laura frowned. This is difficult to accept. You expect Earth Command to just gather these people based on your word. Before Echo could respond, an alarm sounded throughout the ship. The holographic display shifted, showing a section of space near the edge of the system. A ship had appeared unlike any in human records. Its design matched the Scourge vessels Echo had shown them earlier. Scourge scout ship, Echo announced. They detected my awakening faster than anticipated. Laura stared at the display. That ship is 16 light hours away. How can you possibly have real-time sensor data at that distance? The Harbinger utilizes quantum entanglement for long-range observation. Echo explained. Another technology your people have not yet developed. The Scourge vessel is searching for us. It will find us within 48 hours. So what do we do? Laura asked, despite herself already beginning to believe. We prepare. Olivia said, her eyes glowing even brighter. The Harbinger needs a crew. I can interface with the primary systems. But we need engineers, weapons specialists, navigation officers. We need the descendants. Laura considered for a long moment, then made her decision. I will contact Earth Command. Recommend we locate these people, but I want something in exchange. Name it. Echo said. Technology. Weapons specifications. Communication systems. Anything that could help us fight these Scourge if they really are coming. Echo seemed to consider this. The Harbinger contains technologies centuries beyond your current capabilities. Some I can share, some would be dangerous. In your hands, but I will provide what I can. The deal was struck. Laura returned to her ship and sent an urgent message to Earth Command. Within days, the Valiant was joined by 3 more military vessels. Their orders to protect the Harbinger and assist in gathering the descendants. Meanwhile, deep in the ship's engineering section, Olivia worked with Tara and the ship's AI to understand the incredible technology that powered the massive vessel. The main engine room housed what appeared to be a miniature star contained within layered force fields. Its energy output was staggering enough to power a small city. Echo called this a fusion compression drive, explaining that it created controlled micro-singularities to generate power. The weapons systems were equally advanced, utilizing directed gravity waves and particle beams that could slice through conventional armor like paper. More concerning were the ship's defensive systems. Phase shift technology allowed the Harbinger to partially exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, making it nearly impossible to target. Even if hit, the hull was composed of self-healing nanomaterials that could repair damage almost instantly. As the days passed, more of the descendants arrived. They came from all walks of life: teachers, factory workers, doctors, soldiers, all ordinary people until they set foot on the Harbinger. Then, like Olivia, many began to display unusual abilities, genetic memories awakening, giving them intuitive understanding of systems they had never seen before. A mechanic named Samantha Kelly could instantly diagnose problems with the engines, as if she had worked with them her entire life. A school teacher named Bethany White took to the tactical systems with uncanny skill, hitting simulated targets with perfect accuracy. Laura watched all this with growing unease. The ship was a miracle, but it was also terrifying. What else had been sent back from this future? What other changes would it bring to human history? The answer came sooner than expected. 8 days after the discovery of the scout ship, long-range sensors detected a larger vessel entering the system. This was no scout but a full-fledged Scourge warship. Its trajectory would bring it to Proxima 9 in less than 3 days. The Harbinger is not yet ready, Echo informed them. We have only 47 crew members aboard, less than 5% of optimal capacity. Then we fight with what we have. Laura declared, we cannot allow that thing to report our position back to its fleet. Olivia nodded in agreement, standing on the bridge now converted to a war room. Maps and tactical displays surrounded them, showing the approaching enemy. The crew, though few in number, took their positions, many still learning systems they somehow already knew how to operate. The countdown to first contact had begun. In 3 days they would face an enemy from humanity's nightmare future. And the Harbinger, despite its power, was still largely a mystery, even to those chosen to crew it. Somewhere deep in the ship's memory core, Echo activated a protocol not shared with the humans aboard, a contingency plan created by her designers. A final solution if all else failed. The AI calculated the probability.